This is a perfect example of a typical meal prep that I would do to go from this to this. Oh, she did that. And it works because the focus is one ingredient, nutrient dense foods. I'm going to say it over and over again in every video probably, but that's what you should be doing if you want to lose the fat and build the lean muscle. So when we focus on our one ingredient dense foods, we are prioritizing especially quality proteins and fats to make the bulk of our calories, and then the remainder of our calories are going to be with complex carbs, things like sweet potato, and honestly I mostly consume fruit and honey for my carbohydrates, but I do still have pistachios in my diet. So a lot of hardcore carnivores who are very dogmatic and weird about this stuff would be very mad at me for saying that I eat animal-based, plus, I don't know what you want to call it. I eat healthy, okay? I eat healthy one ingredient, nutrient-dense foods. So that's what makes me happy, that's what makes my body happy, that's what's got me results. And I like to set up stations for my meal prep. This is what you would need if you were going to duplicate what I'm doing today. So over here is gonna be my potato and eventually my zucchini, squash, and asparagus section, but I am going to be cutting up my potato and tossing it in organic coconut oil, some sea salt, some organic cinnamon, ground peppercorn, raw unfiltered honey, and I'm going to toss it up in here. It's going to go on a baking sheet, so there's 2 of them because I want my potatoes super crispy, and that way I could give them a lot of room to get air around them when they bake in the oven. And then the other pan is for the veggies. So I'm going to chop those up and lay those out to roast. I'll just toss them probably either in some coconut oil, or I do have avocado oil if I choose to do that instead, but just some salt and pepper as well. Really clean, really basic, really simple. And just because something is basic and clean doesn't mean that it's bland. So all of this food is very flavorful, even with minimal seasoning. But what happens is when people are coming off of a ultra processed diet and going to a cleaner unprocessed diet, they tend to think things are bland and can't really taste the natural depth, flavor, experience the texture of a one ingredient food that it offers naturally, because they're so accustomed to all this ingredient overload, I'll call it. Yeah, it actually really is delicious, and it may take some getting used to if you're just getting started, but know that it rewires your brain and your body will love what you're putting in it. So again, just minimal seasonings, all one ingredient, natural flavor enhancers, okay? And over here I've got my eggs. I've got 10 of them. First, I'm just gonna hard boil them all, and 10 is actually a lot for one batch because as it cools, it's harder to peel the shell, but I'd rather pick at the last couple and just have them done. So I also have this bowl full of ice that I'm gonna fill with a little bit of water so that when these are done boiling, I'm gonna actually shock them and throw them in here so that they're cool enough for me to handle and pull the shells off right away. I've got my cast iron ready to go. I've got my spatula I'm using for my burgers. Let me grab this real quick. These are American raised, grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef. They're 1 1/3 pound each. I get them at Costco, super cost efficient. And then also if you have an Aldi in your area, their grass-fed beef options are excellent and at low cost as well. And they even offer 93/7 fat to lean ratio, whereas these are 85/15. But that's the only option that I have at Costco, and I will take it. Those were just sitting on that thaw board. If you don't have one, I highly recommend. They work really well. I have a food scale here and a larger cutting board so that I could put my raw formed meat patties on those. I'm going to measure them out with my scale and my gloves, and then once they're measured out, I'm going to season them up on that board, and then I'm just going to plop them right in the cast iron with my grass-fed butter. Got grass-fed butter from Kirkland brand from Costco as well. And I'm just going to salt and pepper those too. Don't need much. You could do like, I have a good organic garlic powder. I might add that. So yeah, those are the stations. I'm gonna prep everything up. I preheated the oven to 425 so that it's already ready to go. And basically all I'm gonna do is get all of this stuff prepped and ready over and bring it over here. And then I'm gonna slide the 2 trays in, get those on the stove boiling, and flip my burger patties. And then food is like basically done. And then what we'll do is we'll typically save our steaks in any seafood for dinner so that we can cook them up fresh on the cast iron and usually oven finish. All right, I'm gonna get into it. So here's our end result. We've got 10 beautifully shiny eggs. There was one that gave me a little bit of trouble, and this is the one that I gave some of Evie to. But they're all perfectly smooth and shiny and delicious. They're medium boiled, so they're gonna be nice and creamy when we bite into them, not dry. And then I got 5 out of each package, but I already went ahead and split one off to the side for my lunch tomorrow because I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 eggs that I would normally take. And then I would add about 1 ounce to 2 ounces of raw Parmesan cheese by Belgioioso. You can get this at Costco. It's usually about $11 or so. This one's $10.87. Yep. It says for 1.65 pounds, so over 1.5 pounds. That's awesome. And I choose this specifically because a serving is 1 ounce, which is about a cubic inch, and it's 110 calories, and then it has 9 grams of protein per serving. So it's a super protein dense cheese. It's not pasteurized, so you get all those goodies that are normally burnt off and taken away. It's definitely not processed cheese. It is real, delicious, nutrient dense cheese. So I usually take about 1 ounce of that. I'm gonna weigh it out. My in ounces, yep. And I want to say this is probably going to be about 1.5 ounces. Maybe, actually it's probably more like 2 ounces. Let's see. Okay, 1.75. So I split the difference between 1.5 and 2 ounces perfectly. So I'm going to drop that bad boy in there. And then tomorrow I'll just heat up my burger on its own. Throw a little mustard on it. I'll eat both those eggs and that cheese for lunch. And then I'll bring a snack with me. I might take some of one of these sides, but my snack will definitely be some Greek yogurt. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this on here and tear the scale. I don't know if you can even see that, but I'm telling you what I'm doing anyways. But I'm just gonna tear it to 0, change the unit to grams because it's just easier for me to measure this Greek yogurt. This Greek yogurt is phenomenal. I get this at Costco too. I feel like I should just be like, whatever Flo's job is, the mascot for Progressive, I should have that job for Costco and just be able to retire because it's not even work to me. I love Costco so much, ever so much. But yeah, this is a new Greek yogurt they just added because they always only carried the low fat Greek yogurt. And I eat whole milk, whole fat, real plain Greek yogurt. And I definitely want to always look at the ingredients. So this is just pasteurized grade A skim milk and cream. It's going to let you know, of course, it has live and active bacterial cultures and that it contains milk for people who are potentially lactose intolerant. But the point is that it's milk and cream. It's 15 grams of protein per serving. Great price point because I eat 180 to 200 grams of Greek yogurt on average a day. And so that can get really expensive if you're just buying it at the grocery store. I'm gonna measure out 180 grams. Oh, and this costs, I think, it is less than a regular sized, like Chobani whole milk plain Greek yogurt at the grocery store. Because that's about $6 and change to maybe $7 and change, and this is like $5 and change, and it's 48 ounces versus I don't know what the weight is on the smaller ones, but it's not that. Tomorrow is a glute and hamstring lift day, so I'm gonna go heavy on this. This is 206 grams basically. I really am not a fan of putting things in plastic, but this is the best container I own right now for this. We try to use glass as much as we can, wherever we can, but for this particular thing that I prep all the time, this is just the best thing that I have. I need to get like this exact size in a glass container. Everything else is either too small or too big that I have that's glass, but it will do for now. This is the organic chicken bone broth, also Kirkland brand, also from Costco. 9 grams of protein. A serving is 8 ounces, which is what I have every day. I have 1 cup of bone broth every day. I would prefer to have grass-fed beef bone broth, but they stopped carrying it. I know Kettle on Fire is a really well-known brand and makes a good quality one, but Costco stopped carrying it, and just for price point, I just started getting this because it comes with 6 of these in a container. I don't remember how much it is, but it's 32 ounces in each one of these, so I get over a week out of it. And then I'll wait till the morning to add my fruit. I will add honey now because I get my carbs pretty much all from fruit, honey, and I eat a lot of, I love pistachios. It's like I can't give them up. So what I'll do is I'll add my honey now and put it in the Greek yogurt in the fridge. This is about a tablespoon. I'm not measuring it. I've done this 3,000 times. But I do about a tablespoon. And then maybe 10-15 minutes before I'm going to have it, I will add my either frozen dark sweet cherries, which are excellent for muscle recovery, gives me my complex carb intake, like I said, or I'll add frozen wild blueberries, or I'll even add, Delilah's very curious about what Mommy's been doing in here. Delilah don't even think about touching that beef. You're more of a chicken gal. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. I prep in advance, which I'll have to make a whole other video on how to do this, but I pre-prep kiwi slices and they thaw so fast. So if you wanted to do like honey and Greek yogurt with some kiwi slices, that when they thaw to the point where they're ready to eat, it's like having frozen melon balls. Oh my God, it's so good. It's like sorbet. So freaking delicious. And I can't recommend one ingredient nutrient dense foods enough. This is the way. This is the way. You want to get healthy, you want to lose fat, you want to build muscle, you need to start eating things like this. And it's not that difficult to do a prep and get it all done in advance. You don't have to go ahead and sort each meal out, though if you're just starting, it is good practice because it just really starts getting your mindset in the right place for meal prep. But it's really not necessary. Like I prep usually a bunch of protein and like I did here and put it all in one thing, and then the night before, even sometimes the morning of, after I've had my workout, my shower, I'll go and get a little thing together like this. I'll maybe pack some pistachios, and I've got my bone broth, and that's all I need to do pretty much. And then at night, depending on what my macros count was for what I did that day, I'll either have steak, fish, really delicious like protein shake. Yeah, that's about it, y'all. And just keep sticking around to watch me make more stuff. I'll show you how to make a banging good steak, the best salmon tacos you've ever had, or just shredded salmon if you don't want to have the carbs. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. Bye! Delilah, you're the star of the show. Oh, Evie, are you jealous? Yeah? Okay. Here, you want a little hair time? Because you're normally the one on camera? Hello. Alright, I don't want your hair in my food.